Is it Laura or is it Lara?
Lara.
Lara Croft. Hello, adventurers. I'm Andrew, and beyond the Tomb Raider games, I've always been fascinated by Lara Croft and what she means to the entire industry. Is she a trailblazer for women in video games? A badass, take no bullshit action hero from a time where most female characters were just eye candy or damsels in distress? Or is she a relic from some bygone era where games were marketed solely to sweaty adolescent males? It's a complicated question and one you can only really answer by looking at Lara's 22-year history and seeing how she's evolved along with the times. So before checking out the new movie, I want to talk about how Lara left the 90s behind. Lara Croft wears a lot of hats. Well, okay, not literally, but she's an archaeologist, a movie star, a spokeswoman, but most importantly, she's a video game character. So that's where we'll start. Let's talk about the games. Tomb Raider was birthed by British game developer Core Design, who made their name on solid but otherwise unremarkable side-scrollers. But when it came time to make the leap to 3D, they came up with an archaeological adventure involving lush jungles, ancient ruins, a bunch of wolves, and treacherous traps, gorgeously rendered with three whole megabytes of RAM. I miss the 90s.
Oh, this is great! At 300 megahertz and 16 megs of RAM, I can interface—
Dexter, honey, you're boring us again, sweetie.
Oh, sorry.
It was a great concept. Now they just needed a character. Artist Toby Gard's first concept was a whip-cracking male protagonist in a fedora, which was nixed pretty much instantly, although for the life of me, I can't imagine why.
No ticket.
They toyed with the idea of having two playable heroes, a man and a woman, but Core killed that for two reasons. One, it would literally double their workload, and two, Gard was a huge fan of the Virtua Fighter series, and he noticed that players gravitated way more toward the female warriors. Inspired by the comic book character Tank Girl and a Swedish singer named Nena Cherry, Gard came up with a badass South American mercenary named Laura Cruz. Core and their parent company Eidos knew that they had a winner, but they balked on the name at the last minute. Worried that it wouldn't appeal to their US and UK audiences, they changed her name to the very British-sounding Lara Croft and added an aristocratic background and posh personality.
I woke up this morning and I just hated everything.
Right. Thanks.
It's a bummer to think about what might have been, having an awesome South American mercenary kicking ass and taking names, but when Tomb Raider released in 1996, it was a huge hit regardless. The game itself looks pretty primitive by today's standards. Seriously, I played it over the weekend in preparation for this video, and let's just say that the cutting-edge visuals of the time are a janky and jaggy mess. And the grid-based gameplay just doesn't hold up next to Super Mario 64, which, by the way, came out just 6 weeks earlier.
Here we go!
The game sold on the strength of its protagonist, and the tiny resolution of 32-bit consoles just couldn't contain her for long. Soon, Lara was raiding the real world.
Let's do this.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's nip this one in the bud right now. There was never a nude code, and no, Lara's chest size didn't come out of some practical joke by the developers. Those were just urban legends, 1990s urban legends.
Oh, Homer, that's just an urban legend. People don't do that type of thing with fish.
But they just go to show that sex appeal was a huge part of Lara's popularity, and the marketing exploited it at pretty much every opportunity.
Mom know about this?
Who?
I can't put into words how cringy and embarrassing it is to see a centerfold where the model is made from 540 polygons. It's fucking weird. It's just weird. But hey, in the 90s, that was apparently enough.
Tell you something, I hated the 90s.
90s sucked.
90s sucked.
Lara appeared on magazine covers, in music videos, and commercials for everything, from sports cars to credit cards. Gaming culture has changed a lot since then, but even back in the day, people were rightfully calling out Lara's objectification and impossible proportions. And I'm not talking about her neck. Zing, that's a poster joke. Show him the poster. Toby Gard didn't create Lara to be a bikini model who shills out for energy drinks. She's an archaeologist, a historian. She'd rather be cracking books, or at least cracking dinosaur skulls, not gushing over wedding dresses. Guard had no control over the character he created, and when Eidos ignored his issues with the marketing, he left the company shortly after the first game. That didn't stop the gravy train from rolling though, peaking with the release of Lara's first film in 2001. Look, I don't want to get too much into the old movies here because we're going to do a deep dive on our show Cutscene once the new one comes out. You should watch it. But as far as game adaptations go, you could do a lot worse. They made Angelina Jolie into an action superstar, and today they're still goofy but fun turn-of-the-millennium popcorn flicks. But when the sequel Cradle of Life bombed, it marked a decline in Lara's popularity that took her years to recover from. After 9 main games and 2 movies, she needed more than a reboot. She needed Raider rejuvenation. After the first game in '96, Core Design pumped out a sequel every year for 4 years.
Laugh with me.
The graphics and controls improved, and new features like driving and rope swinging helped keep things interesting. But the formula was becoming stale, and Core was getting sick of Lara Croft. That's why, spoiler alert, they kill her at the end of The Last Revelation, only to bring her back to the PS2 with no explanation. Angel of Darkness was a big flop, so Eidos handed off the IP to a new dev team who rebooted the franchise for the first time with Tomb Raider Legend. Not a ton changed. Lara's family was a little more fleshed out, and she got a slightly more modest makeover to bring her more in line with, you know, the laws of physics. But the new trilogy failed to rekindle that old magic. Times had changed, and Lara was starting to feel like a fossil from some bygone age. When Lara first debuted, 90% of the video game audience was male. But as the medium expanded and more women and girls discovered the joys of gaming, the community outgrew the cheesecake style. Lara became a joke, a trope, and a caricature. Even the new Jumanji movie has a character who basically exists just to point out how dumb and impractical Lara's outfit was.
Why am I wearing this outfit in a jungle? Tiny little shorts and a leather halter top. I mean, what is this?
When Final Fantasy developer Square Enix purchased Eidos in 2009, along with the rights to Tomb Raider, they quickly started on another series reboot. One that would have a heavy emphasis on realism, survival, and the brutality of the wilderness. And one that feels suspiciously similar to an Uncharted game, which is funny considering that you could make the argument that Uncharted ripped off Lara Croft. So, who should we be mad at?
Ladies first. Cute.
To usher in the new era, Squeenix gave Lara a top-to-bottom redesign that evokes the classic tank and short shorts look, but makes a lot more sense for a serious island expedition. Her new face was based on model Megan Farquhar, with a voice and motion capture performance from Camilla Luddington, giving weight to Lara's actions and emotion. This is a younger, less experienced Lara before she becomes the Tomb Raider. She's not a gunslinger, she's a grad student who's never even killed a human, let alone a giant samurai ghost. She feels like a real person stuck in an impossible situation, like John McClane or Ellen Ripley. Her vulnerability doesn't stop her from being a badass though, it just makes her survival even more impressive. And it's cool because you get to play that, and you get to feel that, and it feels so much better than the original games. The rebooted Lara is grounded and relatable, just like the characters who inspired her, and the ones that she paved the way for. Samus Aran might have been one of the first female protagonists in games, but Lara Croft quickly became the poster child. As flawed as her original portrayal was, she still broke new ground in a male-dominated medium, and modern heroes like Aloy, Chloe Frazer, Bayonetta, and more owe her a huge debt. We're finally starting to see some equality in our action heroes, both in-game and on the big screen, and no matter how you feel about it, let's be real, we really need it. In the new Tomb Raider movie, based heavily on the 2013 game, Alicia Vikander joins the ranks of Tessa Thompson, Denai Guerrera, Michelle Rodriguez, Charlize Theron, and dozens of other trailblazing women who are kicking down the doors of the action movie genre. At the end of the day, I don't know if Lara's original incarnation hurts the cause or helps it, but that's the past. Lara Croft managed to do what many 90s relics couldn't. She changed with the times and evolved into a hero that the entire gaming world can be proud of. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching our video. I love the Tomb Raider series and I'm having so much fun with the reboot. And I want to know what your favorite incarnation of Tomb Raider is. Do you like the movies? Do you like the games? Do you like the reboot? Do you like the classics? Let us know in the comments. Please subscribe to Now This Nerd and be very, very careful if you find yourself in a tomb.